Hello, friends, and welcome to Women Wrestling Friends Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah the Rebel. With me is my co-host,
Miss Tamara, a.k.a. Tamara, a.k.a.
T-Money.
T-Money.
I think that was the other nickname.
Yes, that was one of them.
I have come up with a new wrestling name. My name shall be Maxine Health. Don't steal it. It's mine. I love it a lot. Anyway, today we wanted to talk about the Superstar Shakeup, but we don't really want to talk about the actual, exact people who got moved and what everything means, because everybody else is already doing that. Instead, we wanted to kind of see how it played out following up to tonight's Raw. We are filming this on Monday night. And just overall our major thoughts and feels. So we're going to talk about the people we think most benefited, the people we think were confusing and strange, and the matches we are most looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting. So we will start with the people who benefited the most in our eyes.
Yes.
So the Charlotte and Alexa switch,
Yes.
I think, is very beneficial for everyone.
I agree. And a lot of other sites are pointing that out, which I think is pretty awesome that so many people are recognizing Charlotte as a wrestler, not as a women's wrestler. She was a major acquisition for SmackDown Live. And I'm really looking forward to it because as great as she is with Sasha, we had to watch that for a really long time.
It's run its course, and they had great matches. So I understand why they kept putting them together, because it's crazy, the
chemistry. Iron sharpens iron, as they kept saying. I said that a little weirdly because I'm weird. And then, as I've mentioned before, I don't enjoy Charlotte versus Bayley matches. I don't feel they have that same chemistry. So I think this was the perfect move. And tonight's Raw proved that. With Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, Sasha Banks, and Nia Jax in a four-way. It was so enjoyable. I loved it.
Good.
Alexa and Sasha are going to be just as good as Charlotte and Sasha, I think. They had some... And Mickie and Sasha.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of great matchups from that, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. And they keep bringing up Mickey's, sixth time, and I think she just needs one more to break the record. So that's obviously going to come and play somehow. So they might do... a Bayley wins. I mean, Alexa wins versus Bayley, and then Mickie wins versus Alexa.
Yeah, there's plenty of opportunities and things they could do. The main concern about the change is that if Mickie stays a heel, it means Sasha probably won't get a heel turn. No. Because then Bayley and Dana Brooke would be the only faces, and that's kind of weird. Although Alicia Fox showed back up.
Yeah, she hasn't been around for a while.
It was adorable.
She can wrestle.
She can.
She really can, and you forget that because you don't see her actually wrestling as much anymore. But she really is quite good.
She's a great technical wrestler. Yeah. She is.
It'll be interesting to see because they have 7, I think currently, not counting Paige. And then
I think it's 8 because we didn't count Alicia.
Yes, I was going to say we didn't count Alicia.
We thought she was over at 205 Live, but she appeared on Raw.
So that might mean she's coming back in the fold.
Is that why she had to get powder in her face?
Yes.
She had to be taken away?
Yeah, so she could have that break and get back on the show, maybe.
Onto the SmackDown side of things, Charlotte versus Naomi is something we both really want to see.
It's gonna be so good.
Two strong, athletic women. Yeah. I think they'll probably put on some amazing matches.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because she's just gonna get straight into the title hunt. That's just a given. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting combinations thereof that might happen.
Right, and then Lana looks like maybe she's returning as a wrestler. It's a little unclear.
Yeah, it was a whole thing with her doing a jazz dance on a chair.
6 squish Cicero. What is that?
Chicago.
She was very Chicago.
Yeah, there was.
But I think in NXT she wrestled as with her little Michael Jackson hat and her dance moves. So she is a dancer, I guess.
Yeah, she looked good dancing. It was just it was a very odd way to announce that she was
a wrestler.
Coming.
Yeah,
it was just a little. But if she comes out there and her whole gig is I'm a Broadway dancer, I'm here for it.
And remember, Emma did say that they originally were going to have her come on as Emelina, but then they found someone who fit that personality better. It may be that we were all wrong about it being an old wrestler, and that in fact it is Lana who is going to be Lana Lina. For lack of a better word. I hope they don't call her that. That's terrible. So the other person we think really benefited from the shakeup was Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes. I'm still a little nervous. Mm-hmm. He made a lot of faces, which is what he does, but I don't, and I've always thought this about him. I know people are probably going to give me hate for this, but I don't think he's easy to understand. And I think that's fine in NXT because people were willing to go for the crazier gimmicks. But I think we've seen that on Raw and SmackDown, people like the simplest thing to understand.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, the Vaudevillains is a pretty straightforward gimmick, but they never...
It's too weird, right? And so he's making these faces and he's doing these things. Like, I don't know if people who don't know of him from other stuff will like him.
I mean, he got a good pop when he came out both last week and this week.
Which is why it's probably good that he's on SmackDown. Because SmackDown generally does seem to be more people who are, like, very much into wrestling.
Yeah, and it seemed like they were going to put him against The Miz initially and then the Shakeup. And now they're probably going to have him with Ziggler, which is a good entryway since he's super heel right now. The guys he's been kicking in the face are not there anymore. Right. And he sells like nobody's business.
The guys I've been kicking in the face aren't around, so I need a new face kicky.
Yes.
I think Dolph just kind of plays that role. Yeah. He's the guy who gets other people over. That's what he does. And apparently he's good at it because everybody... Except Apollo Crews. Dang it, he's still going to get Apollo Crews over. Bless Apollo Crews' heart.
He just needs a...
Speaking of Apollo Crews, really? Y'all thought adding Titus to the Apollo Crews equation was the way to go? Y'all want that boy to fail. I see what you're doing, WWE. The final person we were super excited about from this shakeup, you guessed it, Sami Zayn. The underdog makes perfect sense on SmackDown. And I hope they use this to really let him shine. And you know what? The match he had with Baron Corbin and AJ Styles, beautiful. I loved it. See, for anyone who doesn't know, Sami Zayn comes from a luchador kind of background. And AJ Styles, of course, coming from that same kind of leapy around aspect. They were able to be very athletic together. And Sami and AJ are both good at selling. So it was just freaking rad.
It was very good.
Really enjoyed it.
It'll be interesting to see how that kind of unfolds. I guess we'll get to... because... We're really excited that he could get a push. The audience really is receptive to him. Everything's great. But then there's some confused, disappointed things, and the first thing ties in, which is Kevin Owens. Why?
It was a little strange to see that, like, probably the big guy, right? The big bad guy is going to SmackDown, where we're used to seeing smaller people kind of succeed. And he's there with Sami again. And if it's going to be another Sami-Kevin Owens feud, that's not very interesting at all. No. So the only way to not do that would have Kevin Owens and AJ Styles feud, but then that leaves Sami out in the mid-carders again, which is not where we want him to be.
It seems vaguely like another possibility could be...
I like that you were making a pancake while you told me that.
Vaguely, because these are pieces that are fitting together. Baron and Kevin, potentially.
Baron
with AJ and Sami. That could be a potential. But it's kind of weird because AJ, like, that's face versus face and heel versus heel. Yeah. So
it's all very interesting. Yes. But I also don't necessarily know that SmackDown will have to stick to that same sort of formula. They are a little more willing to take chances.
Well, and they did say that whoever wins in the payback match between Jericho and Kevin Owens will be on SmackDown.
Right, we could all be swerved and Chris Jericho could end up on SmackDown.
Which would actually be a pretty great place for him.
I would love to see that happen because it would be very unexpected. I would be incredibly surprised.
And get him away from Samoa Joe before Samoa Joe fucks up.
I know Chris Jericho looks at Samoa Joe in the face before matches like, please no.
I made it so long
without serious injury.
Please stop doing weird stuff. Please
don't do it. Oh man. Speaking of weird stuff, Finn Balor had a match against Curt Hawkins that made me really uncomfortable because it looked like he just thumped straight into Curt Hawkins' belly.
Yeah, Curt, there's that thing where he does that stuff and then, or any like midsection stuff, the wrestlers usually cross their arms, or just
just like with a senton, you're tightening all your muscles and it doesn't hurt as bad.
And I don't think
I don't think he got to it in time. I don't know if he wasn't paying attention to the timing or if he's just really good at tricking me into thinking something else, but it really looked like...
He's a really strong pelvic floor. It was like really clenching.
It looked like he just stomped into that man's tummy. I didn't like it.
It hurt.
All right. Back to things
yes.
we're disappointed by. Kevin Owens, I love him. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think he's a great heel. I love that he's shaved and wearing an ugly-ass suit, so he looks even more repulsive.
And he's like, look at me, I'm Canadian, and I'm just better because I'm a Canadian.
Canadian, we got maple syrup for you.
I speak 2 languages.
Oh yeah, when he said that in French, come down to the ring. Yeah, it was you know, he's a great heel, but I'm nervous
weird.
about him being on SmackDown.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. So returns. So there's the plus side is Tamina's finally back. Yay! The negative side of that is that they did this whole flourish to introduce her that set up a false expectation by the audience, thinking it was going to be Charlotte, and then Tamina walks out, and then they're disappointed. And I felt that was pretty disrespectful.
What they said is they were like, you know, she's a second-generation wrestler, she's an amazing athlete, blah, 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 and the whole crowd thought it would be Charlotte, and we're ready to pop for Charlotte. Now, they did something like this with Kurt Angle and Teddy Long, but the difference is Teddy Long is a comedic character, and Tamina did not come out as a comedic character or as a snarky heel. 2 options that she could have done. Yeah. So I'm also not entirely... the more I had thought about it, the more I'm like, I'm not entirely sure if this was their fault or Tamina's fault. But Tamina came out with a very serious face to a dead audience who was just like, we don't care about you. Half of us don't know who you are. And it was incredibly disrespectful. And then Charlotte came out and everybody cheered. It was like she was the butt of the joke. Now, if she'd come out and been like, oh, not what you were expecting, huh, losers?
But that's kind of never been her shtick, so...
That's true, but that's really the only way. Like, if you're a heel, that's how you have to play it. If you're a face, she needed to have been a comedic wrestler, not Tamina. So, I don't know why they thought that would be a cool thing to do, because the audience didn't even seem... faked out by it in a way. Like, the audience almost seemed like they were just like, oh, yeah. Like, it almost seemed to deaden Charlotte's response, even.
Kind of, yeah. It was a very weird misreading of the situation, I think, by the introduction part of it. And I think that Tamina deserves a hype introduction, but it just was very weird.
And also, none of the women had a chance, Tamina nor Charlotte had a chance to say anything when they came out. And I think that also made it weird. Like, hey, we really care about this women's evolution, but we're not going to let these women talk or do anything.
Nope.
Which possibly is because they haven't decided what they're going to do yet. Because Charlotte could always, very surprisingly, turn face or, you know, kind of a in-between face. Area. Gray area, face, heel. So, potentially that's why?
It seems, let's see, based on who's there, I feel like it's going to be one of each. Because Becky and Naomi...
Becky and Naomi are both faces, and then Carmella and Natalya are currently heels.
Right, so...
Right. Tamina makes a good heel because she's big. Yeah. She can be the Nia Jax of SmackDown if she wanted to be.
But she's also part of Team Bad with Naomi, so...
They could play on that.
Mm-hmm. So,
it's a lot up in the air. The other problem I had was another move. Byron Saxton moved to SmackDown.
Why? Why you do?
I have no idea. I know there are some Byron haters out there, but you can't deny... Even the Byron haters enjoy Corey Graves tearing into Byron. Nobody enjoys JBL tearing into anyone because he's a fucking bully. And also because he's a fucking bully, he's not allowed to be a heel commentator right now. Which means SmackDown has 2 face commentators and a face fucker. I mean, oh, sorry, that was rude, Tom Phillips. And a neutral commentator. He didn't seem very heely to me at all, unless he's going to gradually go into that role. Mm-hmm. But it made the commentary very dull.
Yeah, it was a very weird balance. And like JBL saying some like weird color commentary.
That's what he does.
Yeah, so he was doing that weird thing, and then Byron was doing his semi-informative, but also, like...
standing for everybody.
Yeah, and so it just was weird. It was weird.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of it, and I hope they figured that balance out, or they apologize and put Byron back where he belongs, getting made fun of by Corey Graves. Because Booker T and Corey Graves, it's weird because I know Booker T is not going to be the one who ends up there.
Yeah.
But right now we're having somebody who both Corey and what's his face? Michael Cole. I know his name. Shut up. They treated him more as an informative figure versus an
actual, yeah. I mean, like, I think it
and
would have made more.
Awful.
He's neutral. He's just there. I don't really like. He's fine to me. I don't.
He says crazy words out his mouth all the time.
He does,
I don't like
but that's part of his thing to me. Like, I just whatever. And I feel like, well, I mean, obviously, JBL he probably couldn't. He doesn't need this job. His wife is fucking Jennifer Hudson. He doesn't need this gig.
So I wish they'd let him go and
hire
me.
He can do all kinds of stuff. He's a freaking lawyer. He's fine. What they should have done is they should have kept Byron over on Raw and brought Booker T to SmackDown as a placeholder, because I'm sure he won't take no lip from JBL and he'd be fine.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people move around based on bullying now that we've found out. Well, we've always known about it, but now that it's getting more talked about.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, but very disappointing. The reaction that people have had as fans has been heartening to find out that so many other WWE fans take this seriously. But the reaction of the company and places like ESPN, like kind of trying to sweep this under the rug, is really frustrating. And not cool. No. So, extra super not cool on that. And now we're going to talk about happy things, because we're trying to get out of that sadness of bullying. Also, if you're being bullied, let me know. Tweet me. And you know me, I'll go in on that sucker for you. I ain't scared. So, now we're going to talk about matches we are excited and want to see.
Yes.
Do you want to start?
Sure. So, there's some tag team switch-ups. So now we have Heath Slater and Rhino on the same show as Enzo and Cass. So it seems like that would be a good thing to set up, because you have that. Heath can talk about his double wide and his overground pool. Right.
Could you just imagine Heath and Enzo like having a talk off? I think it would be really annoying in a great way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rhino and Cass are the big bruisers. Part of me thinks we'll never see this match because WWE doesn't seem to like putting samey people together.
No.
But it's my hope and my dream wish. I would love to see them, especially because I think Enzo is often used as a doormat, and it makes me not like him. It's not very fun to watch somebody throw himself around the ring kind of carelessly and never win.
Yeah.
Whereas if he was actually matched with somebody like Heath, who looks like he's, kind of slimmer than him, it might actually make for a more interesting story.
Maybe.
But they'll never put two faces against each other. But it is my wish.
Next.
Yep.
We talked about this kind of briefly before.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte and Naomi.
I can't wait for the hip checks and the flying through the airs and the moonsaults and the split jumps. It's going to be so good.
So good.
I really hope they let us see it too.
Me too.
I also can't wait for the first time Charlotte tries to say she's genetically superior to Naomi.
I know.
All Naomi has to do is turn around and be like, do you see me? do you see me?
I'm amazing.
I wish we had a black light, because I would have just hit that button and bring it to the... Okay, anyway. Shinsuke versus AJ Styles. Now, they have had matches in Japan. I personally haven't seen any matches outside of Japan. If it exists, I don't even want to watch it, because I want to watch them wrestle on WWE for me.
Yeah, it would
awesome.
Be very weird if they did not take advantage of that combo sometime in the future.
I think it'll be a slow burn.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. Probably summer, like August. Like, it probably won't start till like
time
August.
Works in the WWE.
I don't even.
WW. I just know it's probably going to be weeks.
Yeah.
Because they're probably going to want to do, these other things first before they let us have the deliciousness of Shinsuke versus AJ. But if they never give us Shinsuke versus AJ, then I have two fingers and they're both in the middle of my hands for you, because I was going to
say that you had two words for him.
Oh.
Yes. Another one.
Jeff Hardy version. Anyway, yes. Mickie James versus Sasha.
Yes, Mickie James versus Sasha. We saw a little bit of that in tonight's Raw.
Yeah.
It looked real good.
It made me want more.
I can't wait.
The way they were looking at each other, Sasha was giving a very, like, heel kind of look at Mickey, and they just look so... I've said it before. Mickey brings something unique and different. She doesn't walk like everyone else. She doesn't hit the ropes like everyone else. She doesn't pin like everyone else. She's very comfortable doing her own thing and not being cookie cutter. And Sasha is really, really good at following leads. And they just looked so good together.
So good.
I want to watch it forever.
All the time.
Yes.
Charlotte and Natalya.
Yes.
Could also be a great one. I mean, we also haven't really gotten Naomi and Charlotte that much either, which I also feel like is a bit of a missed opportunity, but storylines being as they are. But
Naomi and Natalya?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Sorry, did I say Charlotte?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
yeah, you've talked about that before, too.
Yeah.
How you want to see Natalya and Naomi, and we've never gotten to see it.
Nope.
Because I feel like they've been doing weird things with Natalya at least as long as I've been watching wrestling.
It's true, like, post Beth Phoenix. Like,
right, it's
she
like...
had that...
Is she a heel or is she a face? For a while, they didn't seem to even want to come up with a story as to why she was acting the way she was acting. And then she finally got to be a heel, but it was over the weakest storyline.
Yes.
And I don't know why that's happening because she's really good in the ring.
Yeah.
And it would be pretty easy to just have her be crazy. Like, she's a crazy cat lady. Go ahead, do that. I mean, if there's nothing else you can come up with for this athlete...
with her dad's vicious streak, because she started out with that and she was very good at it. But I feel like maybe they have a hard time making women scary in a way, because I think bottom line they still need their audience to want to fuck them. So I feel like maybe that had something to do with it.
She should go full dominatrix.
She should. Oh my god, that'd be so good.
Right? Like, she'd be filling the dominatrix role that is missing for the women's...
Yeah, her outfits are already halfway there, at least.
If you need to be fuckable, be the scary dominatrix with a tight ponytail, licking on a whip before you get into the ring. Men will be all about it. You're welcome. You can take that for free.
Yes.
And Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt looked like it was teased.
Yes.
And I can't even tell you how much I want to watch this demon go up against this Magic Man cult leader.
Magic on magic.
Except that I know Bray is going to lose. And it doesn't make any sense.
No. I mean, they might have this be the thing where Bray kind of become... Because, they did it with Seth a bit where Finn was like a regular Finn for a while and then he had to have the demon come
But he was still winning.
True, but they could do it this way where Bray keeps beating him until he summons his demon form.
I don't think they will.
They probably won't. I'm just saying they can.
Yeah.
Take the storyline.
Do it.
Take it.
What would be better, which I hate to say, would be having Bray Wyatt be built up. Having him win and win and win and win and win and then face Finn Balor and lose. But instead, they've been having Bray lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. So it really doesn't make any sense. Except that one time.
Except that one time. So those are some of our excellent
things we're looking forward to. Let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud or on allgames.net, I don't know how you can... Maybe tweet us. Tweet us and tell us what matches you're looking forward to now that the shakeup has occurred.
I think that Seth and AJ benefited from staying where they were, because it would have been really weird to have AJ kind of go through that respect gauntlet at WrestleMania and then ship him over to the other
that
thing.
would have needed to end with the not handshake.
Something like that. And same kind of with the Kingslayer now, that he's kind of he's put his sword in the sand over there, being switched over would have been weird.
With his little knight leggings. He's such a nerd. We can't go without talking about Braun beating the shit out of Roman Reigns. If you missed it, please go watch the clip. Braun came, beat Roman black and blue, threw him off the ledge, still strapped to the gurney, tipped over an ambulance. It was good old-fashioned backstage wrestling fun, and also a little sexy. At one point, Braun grabs Roman by the neck and shoves him against the wall, and I was like, oh god, I'm going to need another pair of pants. This is too hot for me. It was great. And then, the continuation of Braun being great was tonight, he beat up a bunch of people, including throwing Kalisto into a trash can.
Rude.
And he sank immediately out of view, and I got nervous that he's probably under there suffocating a little bit. And then out of nowhere, Big Show comes, and I'm pretty sure Big Show then turned and lifted that man out of the trash and was like, you're free now. and then put him down. But they had a match in which they took the freaking ring down, and it was scary and good fun.
Yes, and the man that ref went tumbling.
That referee, we watched it about
He
4 or
just
5 times, just whoop, just right out the ring. And I know he did it on purpose because he was holding the rope, and why would you hold the rope? Yeah. But he managed to make it look so hilarious. So we had to keep watching that from all the angles.
Yeah, it was good. I do enjoy Braun a lot. I think he's a great wrestler. I am exceedingly tired of this storyline. It's been going on for about a year at this point, where he just kind of comes and he yells about competition and he beats people up and then nothing happens. And I'm exceedingly tired of it. So I'm okay with Big Show not winning this particular match, though it would have been nice if he did, but I understand what they're doing with it. But if they're not going to introduce another big man, like one that's younger, because let's face, I mean, Big Show is looks great. He's in great shape right now, but eventually he's going to retire.
Right. He doesn't need a push. He's already pushed. Everybody loves him.
So we need another big dude to show up.
It's possible that the payback match with Braun and Roman will finally get him out of this purgatory, and we can finally see Braun and Brock. Yeah. And I have hope for that because if I remember correctly, they hinted, I can't remember which fight it was, but they hinted at a fight a long time ago and then eventually it came to fruition 7 months later.
Yeah.
So we did see that hint with Braun and Brock before where Braun backed away. Also, the Carl and, I always say their name right, Gallows and Anderson, God, why can't I ever say their name right on the first try? Made a United Airlines joke about Braun Strowman.
They did. It was pretty solid.
Now they're just the New Day. They're just going to make the referential jokes now.
I feel like after the Southpaw Regional Wrestling thing, thank you, that they're like, oh, hey, these dudes are funny. We should let them be kind of funny while being dicks.
Except that it never worked with the New Day, and they need to stop. Listen, I know they're funny. I know. Yes. But they can't be funny and be scary. We don't have that ability in America. Maybe in Japan y'all do. America doesn't have it. They need to be scary if they're going to be scary.
I think it's possible, just not with them. Your gimmick has to be a little bit different, I think, for that to be a better thing. But,
I think it's just a different type of humor. If you're going to be the asshole making fun of people, that's a different kind of humor than referencing humor or silly voices or imitation humor, which is all the stuff they've been doing. It's not going to work for them as far as intimidation factor goes.
Yes.
The Hardys actually had a singles match. Mm-hmm. I think it was Jeff and Cesaro.
Yes.
And all I want to talk about is the fact that Sheamus kept his kilt on.
Yeah, that was...
it was...
Listen, Cesaro is my favorite.
It's so good.
The new entrance thing is the best thing ever. I feel like I never want them to break up ever again because they amuse me terribly.
When he got up on the thing and he pointed at Cesaro and you're like, Sheamus is actually loving his brother now, and he came to pick him up. Oh, they're best friends, and I like it a lot.
It's good stuff. So yes, I hope they never, ever, 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 ever.
Speaking of two friends separated for no good reason, Sin Cara and Kalisto. Why were they not put back together and put on 205 Live? Why? You guys don't use them for anything except being thrown into trash cans and chairs.
Rude.
It's really annoying.
It's rude.
It's a ridiculous underuse of amazing high flyers.
Oh my God, they're so amazing. I don't understand. And because you only have 8 wrestlers on 205
And
Live?
I do want to say amazing for WWE. We do know that the actual luchadors, Lucha Underground, Lucha Libre stuff got some real stuff popping.
Yes.
But for WWE, they're really awesome.
And frankly, when was the last time we saw them really, really wrestle? It's been a while.
They had some great matches with the New Day.
They did.
Oh, speaking of great matches, Jack Gallagher and TJ Perkins had an excellent one tonight. I really enjoyed it. It seemed more, slightly more elevated than their normal matches that they have week in and week out. They really put on a show for us and told a story, and I loved it.
They're selling the TJ Perkins heel turn.
I'm so happy he's a heel because that whole I'm homeless made me really hate him, and now I get to hate him for a reason.
Well, and the constant dabbing You know, it's not that you just do it every once in a while, but the constant dab, I feel like, is a move of a heel.
I was willing to accept it as a millennial seeking to appeal to younger kids.
No, but like, yes. Like, when you come in there, but if you have somebody in a leg lock or you do a thing and then you dab on them, I feel like that's a heel.
I feel like he only did that as a heel.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've seen him do that before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't remember every TJ Perkins.
No. I mean, I've seen
battle.
it in like a non... But you know what? But he's done it against heels, so I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you dab on a heel.
Yeah.
Tamara facts.
Yes. True facts.
True facts. Anyways, much shorter episode than normal today because we felt really bad about all those longer episodes. Let us know if you like the shorter format or if you do actually want to just hear us ramble on because we can always talk longer.
Mm-hmm.
And also let us know if there are any topics you'd like us to cover. We have a few ideas coming up, such as focusing on specific wrestlers or specific types of wrestlers, focusing on ring gear and entrance music, all sorts of things, so keep that in mind and let us know if there's anything you'd like us to talk about. And we can talk about more than the WWE as well, so feel free to suggest stuff like that.
You know, there's a whole world of wrestling out there beyond the
whole
WWE.
wrestling world, that's where we'll be.
That's where we will be.
A wondrous place
A thrilling chase.
for you and me. Then we switch into Whitney Houston. Oh, where can people find you, Tamara?
You can find me on the Twitters and the Instagrams at Misfits Tamara.
And you can find me at Sarah the Rebel, and you can find Women Wrestling Friends on YouTube by searching Women Wrestling Friends Podcast, or just searching Sarah the Rebel, finding my channel. And you can find us on Twitter at Women Wrestling F, because I couldn't fit the whole name on Twitter. We also have an Instagram that I've lost the password to, so if you know how to hack Instagram, holla at your girl. And we will see you next time.
Jeff Hardy dance out.